captain number 13, Jared Tour, and vice captains 4.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, for our third and final live stream match today, and it is the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Grand Final between the Atatu Roosters and the Papakura Sea Eagles. It's our big one today after the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Grand Final last night. This is, I guess, the second division you would call it these days, Grand Final, and both of these two teams will be playing in the Fox qualifiers next year, contending for a place in the first division, but there's silverware to be won along the way. Corey Rosser in commentary, as always, joined by Troy Hardy and TJ Ashford today, who's been joining us over the last couple of weeks to provide some stats and a little bit of coaching insight. And we'll go to TJ now. TJ, we called Papakura just last week, it was. What were the main lessons that we took from that game, other than the fact that there's a fair bit of strike in this team when they get going?
Yeah, they definitely do have a fair bit of strike power in their team there, Corey. I think Papakura got a lot of go forward last week through their hooker, Luke Armiger, with a big exclusion last week with Phoenix Sun. I thought that would have been a loss to them, but Luke just carried on the role of a hooker and brought his forwards on quite well. I thought he did really well there. With regards to the Atatu Roosters, I've been fortunate to play against them again a couple of times this year, and they throw a fair bit of a strike at you in terms of good ball stuff. So they've got a handy captain and lock forward that they've got in the middle of the field who can not only do the hit-ups, but he can also ball play as well. So they've got a fair bit of arsenal themselves in that Te Atatu Roosters side.
And Jared Tour won their Player of the Year at the ARL Awards. It's based off the 3-2-1 votes. And congratulations to all of the winners there, and Junior Pitta picked up the award for the Papakura Sea Eagles as well. So we await the arrival of the Gladiators, but in the meantime we'll continue our build-up here, and a brilliant opening two games. Point Chevrolet getting up in the SAS Fox Reserves Grand Final just a few moments ago, and earlier Bay Roskill winning the reserves for this competition. Here's Jared Tour. Right knee heavily strapped, prepares to lead the two teams out. Of course, came across from Mount Albert this year to captain the Roosters. He's a former Auckland Vulcan. He was around in the early days of the Auckland Vulcans, 2012-2013 season. Spent a bit of time over in Australia. Well, George Edwards, what a man he is to lead the Papakura Sea Eagles. Vastly experienced at local level. Won competitions before. George Edwards knows what it's all about. And that is the case for quite a few boys spread across both these squads, whether they've won it at first division level or second division level. So out they come now. Papakura Sea Eagles, Jamal Hunt following in behind. Spent some time over in Australia, the man from Otahu College. We'll look at the Te Atatu Roosters, and the key men to watch here: Cortez Ta'ulu, David Dyer, who's scored a stack of tries out in the centres. Inu will lead them around the park well, but watch for Isaac Miskey's spark out of dummy half, particularly off carries from the likes of Jared Tour and Donovan Briggs in the middle.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Just before we do kick off today, I would like to ask you to stand as a mark of respect.
We're going to have a moment's silence here today, and that will be for Lou Proctor, the former chair and Papakura life member who sadly passed away. And this is how the Sea Eagles will take the field. George Edwards will be the captain. Alan Nealevu comes off a great game, and the halves are excellent. Willie Stowers and Drew Radich. Luke Armiger, as TJ pointed to, had a great game last week, and he will form a dangerous 1-2 punch out of dummy half with Phoenix Hunt. Watch for Makairi Beatty at fullback as well. He's a dynamic player capable of splitting a game open. So there's points all over the park for these two teams. And it should be a thrilling grand final.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Papakura Club, thank you.
So there's our moment's silence for Lou Proctor, and kickoff awaits. It will be the Roosters kicking down towards the Mount Smart #1 end. So here we go. Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship decider. One team coming up from the championship qualifiers, the other dropping down from the Fox qualifiers. True clash of the best second division team and of course the best of the group that dropped down, so really it is similar to that UK style £1 million game. Charging the ball forward, and that is a brilliant carry, and that's the 21 for Papakura, Zion Tassisi. Through the middle they go now. Pitta breaks free, but it's called back, and then Pitta slams the ball down in frustration. So scrum to pack down will be a Atatu feed, and now welcome into the commentary box for the first time in this match, Troy Hardy. And Troy just looking beyond the field over there, massive crowd in for this one. Both these clubs really well supported.
Absolutely, and I think too for Atatu Roosters, this will be a big day out for them. And you know, probably liking a little bit to David and Goliath, as you've rightly said. You know, top of the mid-eights coming out of their qualifiers. As Atatu up against Papakura Seagulls, and Papakura, to be fair, you know, probably had a slippery slope during the course of their qualifying series in the first rounds that are played, and we were fortunate enough to live stream these two teams at the back end of the season, the regular season, and Papakura a wee bit rusty there, slow to start, and they won't be, you know, looking to do that again today. They've certainly, you know, got into this with a wee bit of energy as we see them coming back in from their 10.
Vasu receives the kick, and the Roosters complete their first set, do what the Papakura Seagulls couldn't. Christopher Smithson, who had a brilliant game last week, he was elusive in his running, scored a good try, and really caused issues all day for the Bayroscal side, as did this man, Alan Neolevu. Won a Fox with Papakura back in 2016, and wins a penalty that time with a little bit of energy. So good work there from Alan Neolevu, and Stowers will kick for touch. So 2.5 gone. Stowers drops that one into touch, about 10 metres inside the opposition territory, and a good chance now for the Seagulls to build on something, given that first set where they did break free, but it got called back. Here's a good charge from Tassisi to get things going, and then it goes to Pitta. He hits the line hard. Armiger, there's going to be a penalty there.
Well, 2 penalties back to back, not ideal.
Discussion going on here for Papakura. Willie Stowers is out the back organising, which would suggest they're going to tap and go, and they will indeed. So hands it off now, and this is
Great run.
Tassisi. In fact, it's Jamal Hunt, still driving Jamal Hunt, but I think the ball's been held up here. Wait a minute, Jamal Hunt, he's got the opener. Brilliant stuff from Hunt. Straight through the middle of the Atatu line. It looked at first as if he was held up, but got the ball to ground, and what a way to open the scoring after just a few minutes.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here. We see it from the tap. Just so much strength. Hard. Out of the first tackle, carried him across, plus the second, third defender. Just kept going. And whilst that body's in our way, he was, you know, well, just heard from the production floor manager there. The referee was right there, Johnny on the spot. And that try was awarded. So Papakura Seagulls off to a flying start, 4 points on. Another quick look at it from a different angle. There, you actually thought he had stopped, but managed to get out of it, and so much determination. Kick to come. And just after that try, we had a quick look at the Te Atatu body language there, TJ. Kick's good. And they look like they're a little bit shell-shocked.
Yeah, probably not the way to start their grand final at the moment, but they're failing to struggle to control that middle forwards for Papakura. We saw this last week. Their middle's really dominated, and Zion Tasese looks like a raging bull out there, mate. I think he's found the fronts, and his post-contact meters have been great so far, but Te Atatu definitely need to win that middle today, that middle contest, if they want to win this grand final. So, worrying signs early here in this grand final.
So Te Atatu get us back underway. Stowers reels it in, and Junior Pitta charged with the next one. It's a fair point TJ makes. Zion Tasese has looked like a man possessed early on. Combine that with Jamal Hunt, Vicesio Setefano, who's yet to come onto the field. There are plenty of size in this Papakura pack, and they've got the skill off the back of it in the halves and the back line to do some damage. David Dyer joining in late to slow things down that time. This goes Armiger back in field to Tasese, and Zion once again troubles the line. Armiger jumps out. He's got Radic on his left shoulder. Instead will duck back in field, and Armiger is taken down 35 short of the line. Stowers puts a high one up. It's floating. Tours under it, and Cortez Taulu it is that takes it eventually, reels it in, and then gets set upon by three men in maroon. And the Roosters get to work rucking this ball out. This is Delaney Cheney Puata. Spent some time with the Cronulla Sharks, a Kelston Boys High School graduate. Good carry from David Dyer out of his own end. David Dyer back with Te Atatu this year after spending the previous time with Richmond. Did his OE, played for the West Warriors, the club made up exclusively of Kiwis and Aussies over there in London. Well done to the West Warriors as well. I understand they picked up the London title with a victory over Scholars last week or a couple of weeks ago. So kick into touch, and that's a really good set from the Te Atatu Roosters that time, and will force the Seagulls to work it out from deep inside their own 20 now, with the scrum to pack down. 32 and a half to play in the first half, and it's been all the Seagulls so far, but the Te Atatu Roosters wrestling their way back into it with that one there, and if they can show some good line speed here and set up camp, they can just change the perception of the way things are going right now. You can see Donovan Briggs, he's named in the 18, but has started in the front row. He's been super impressive in all the games we've called this year. So ball comes out the back. Neil Levu. One on the ground. Tua. South Edwards. Stowers directing troops back to the middle. Junior Pitta. Kairi Beatty will kick this time. A long driven one between wing and fullback. Cleaned up by the 19 for Te Atatu.
Penalty. Good height.
So Hakaraia to kick for touch. Puts that one out on halfway.
Yeah, Corey, you mentioned, we've spoken about the region of origin in the past two games prior to this one, and I believe the winger for Te Atatu, Shane Morris-Talfa, was the captain of our under-18s North Side last year, so a product of that system.
So there you go. Great to see that talent filtering through to the big stage already, and no doubt There will be a whole lot more as Miski goes flat at the line to Hakaraya, and then Briggs back in the middle. Good carry, and he's taken down 20 short of the line.
Oh, he's left it behind.
Knock on the call. Miski wanted the penalty. Just probably guilty of thinking one play ahead that time, Donovan Briggs. Armiger clears the scrum and links with one of his captains, George Edwards. Smithson. Whistled to ground by Daniel Pito. And a mistake now from Kura. So after a pretty clean opening 10 minutes, back-to-back errors. Swinging out the back now, linking on the end of it, Cheney Puata. Told to go back and do it again. Hakaraya. Golding. What a servant he's been to this club, Eric Golding. Miski. Tua. Tua plays short at the line, brings in Briggs. Roosters looking to hit back after going down early. Here's the captain, Tua. Hakaraya to Dyer. Dyer back on the inside with the change of direction, but good low down tackle. Miski off a quick play of the ball. Miski will go close, but Papakura arrive and take him down in front of the SAS uprights. Could go left or right here, Te Atatu. Kick dinked in behind, and Beatty with no choice but to dive on the football, and Te Atatu will earn back-to-back sets. TJ, a nice finish to the set that time, and Te Atatu really turned things around in the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we mentioned in the previous game how important it was to get repeat sets, and with that 7-tackle option there, Zenze did a perfectly executed kick to get his side a repeat set. And I mentioned earlier, Jared Tua throwing a bit of shape inside of the good ball zone, and I look for him to continue doing that in this first half.
So BT gets us back underway, and it goes 50 on the fly, reeled in by Hakaraya. And then hands off to Lopetti. Bring the football back. Miski to Briggs. Briggs goes straight and hard, head Tua on his shoulder, still standing as Donovan. Messi in the play of the ball, and more than Messi, penalty worthy.
I think he foxed him into that. He played right into his hands on that one.
So the weight of possession now stacking up in favour of Te Atatu. Inu goes down the left-hand side, comes back through the middle of the park via the other Tua. Jared Tua swings it out the back. Well, Hakaraya did well to get to that ball in the end. And they're going to call a knock on. Touchies called the knock on there. It looked okay from our first shot, but obviously seen something in there they didn't like. So scrum now to pack down, and Papakura survive what was a fairly testing few minutes there. Troy camped up against their own line.
Yeah, really, it was more opportunity for them to sort of build a wee bit of pressure there, and it sort of just unravelled a wee bit. Kura now get to run it. Solid settle. Inside, just outside the 20 now as they carry across. Tried to go the short side.
Iulevu hunting for a gap. Ran for upwards of 100 metres last week. really helped out the forward effort. Jamal Hunt. Try score it earlier in the match. Down the left-hand side they come. Ball gets popped out the back. Vasu now on the football, but Te Atatu scramble to contain him. 25 out from the line. Smithson to Radic. Looping ball up over the top now. BT. Coast-to-coast stuff from the Sea Eagles. George Edwards. Ball comes loose. It's cleaned up by Cheney Plata. So end-to-end football here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Grand Final, and the Roosters now working it out 20 metres off their line.
Yeah, Corey, that was a better set from Papakura's middle forwards, and prior to that set, their last three were all back, the outside backs taking their carries, and they weren't getting too many metres off their sets. So, Papakura's middle forwards need to step up here if they want to continue leading this contest.
David Dyer getting involved in the hard stuff there with a carry up towards halfway, and then it goes to Tua, and jamming in was Vasu. Nice ball popped out the back though, and Te Atatu keep it alive. Miski looks to the heavens. A high one for BT, who reels it in nicely and will bring the ball straight back. So already the intensity starting to just kick up a notch here at Mount Smart number 2. Both teams going toe-to-toe right now. Niulevu bringing it out of the back line. Junior Pitta. Edwards on Armiger's shoulder. Armiger just about went through himself. Such an impressive player, Luke Armiger. Stowers to Radic. Radic short at the line to Sessi. Couldn't hold on to it. I tell you, if he had, there's probably something on there for Papakura. He's looked good every time he's touched the football. Today's on to Sessi. Ball spilled and will pack down a scrum. Te Atatu feed. Got 23 and a half to play here in this grand final. Penalty to help them out of their own end. Te Atatu discipline. A little bit of an issue for Papakura, in particular in the last couple of minutes. Hakaraya will kick for touch. Was touched by Niulevu. Be interesting to see what the result is here. Was the foot on the line or it wasn't? It's going to be a tap and get back into it. Pito. Briggs carts the ball forward into the direction of Armiger. Briggs felt that one, slow to the feet. Hakaraya, the first receiver, plays in Goulding. Hakaraya swings it out the back, goes half to half. Inu to Tua, who straightens. Jordan Tua taken down 20 out from the line. Trailing by 6 here, the Roosters looking to reply. Inu collects from first receiver, shuffles it to his halves partner, and the settler up the middle from Lopeti. Miski with options either side, goes to Hakaraya. Hakaraya holding it up, shows it, goes to Dyer, who isolates the winger. Oh. And it's a try on the right-hand side for the Te Atatu Roosters winger, Shane Morris Taualofa, who scores in the far corner. David Dyer with a classy touch there at the end, but put it down to the work of Boston Hakaraya in the lead-up. And we'll get a good look at it here on the Crown Lift Trucks replay.
So just seeing the service out from the dummy half here, they went to the right-hand edge. He sort of just popped it out wide enough. Quick hands through to the winger. And not enough defenders then, I have to say. There was a wee bit of a whoa moment there. It looked like he was going to slide out and hit that in-goal line, but 4 points. Roosters are on the board as we wait for the kick to come.
TJ, we were just touching on the fact that Anthony Galton's missing from that deadly right edge, but a fair replacement in there today, and David Dyer seems to have got that combo with him down pat.
Yeah, he's definitely their go-to player in that back line. So I believe 80% of their tries actually go down their right edge for Te Atatu. But Boston shaped up quite well there and faked the kick, and he brought in the likes of Drew Radich out there on the edge. So I think he bit in just too much. And Papakura, definitely their left edge will be punished today if they don't shape up properly defensively.
In every game we've called this year, that has been the case. The right edge has been very dangerous. David Dyer's had a wonderful season, and well done to him as well. He's been regular in the Kiwi League Central Team of the Week throughout the season. So Hakaraia now to attempt this conversion. He's taken it back about 28 metres, and he's about 2 metres in from the right-hand touchline. Hakaraia strikes it, it's well away to the left, and it's still going left by the time it lands. So it will remain Papakura Sea Eagles 6, Te Atatu Roosters 4, 19.5 minutes to play in the first half here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Grand Final.
So as we get ready for the reset here, and again in these close matches, especially in the Grand Finals, we've sort of said it in the last few matches, is how important are those conversion kicks when they go astray. And you just sort of wonder in the back of your mind, do those 2 points come back to haunt you? Sea Eagles underway. Go deep. Big bounce. And it's gone both ways. Pinball.
There might be an accidental offside in here.
Yep, someone's getting pinged.
So penalty to the Sea Eagles. It was Jared Tua who couldn't control it, and then from there was a offside. So Sea Eagles with the chance to hit straight back now. Taylor Polder. Setafano onto the field with his first touch. Setafano goes up over the top, but Briggs is up to the challenge down low. Armiger to Radich. Radich stepping. Radich will go very close. Taken down centimetres short of the line. Armiger barking troops from dummy half. Goes to BT to Smithson. Smithson charging hard. David Dyer up to task and gets some help from his winger as well. And they drive him back 3 or 4 metres. Vasu clears the ruck. It's a shocking pass. Radich there to clean up the scraps and will have to surrender himself midfield. What are they setting up for here? Papakura, they're set deep to the right side. Instead, they'll go to the left. BT will kick across. Following in was Sasesi, but just cleaning up in time was Morris Taualofa, and he saves the day for the Te Atatu Roosters. Back-to-back sets coming up for Papakura.
Great scramble on the line there by the Roosters. Managed to clean up because they were certainly under the pump there for the moment. And as he slowly walks back to get ready for the drop, just giving his troops a wee bit of a chance to get some air into the tank. Roll back into the plate. Here come the Sea Eagles.
Setafano. Look at that.
Yeah, Corey, warning signs there for Te Atatu as well. It looks like Phoenix Hunt's got his boarding pass to come on shortly.
So here we go, as if they didn't already have enough to worry about. Perhaps the biggest man in the Fox Championships onto the field, and last year's First Division Player of the Year as well. Drew Radich shows and then finds BT to Smithson. They're going to test this edge again. Smithson has to basketball pass it back in field, and that's a shame there for Cheney Puata, who is punished really for his effort to recover the ball. It's put down, and there's another set coming here for the Papakura Sea Eagles. And it'll be interesting to see as well what the reshuffle is going to be here as I take a look down sideline, and we can see that warming up is Phoenix Hunt. So will it be Armiger that comes off for a rest, or do they move Armiger somewhere into the forward pack and bring off one of the big men? In the meantime, a scrum which will be packed down just about smack bam in the middle. Radich with the feed, and Armiger collects from the back. They go straight to BT. Makaidi shaking out and looking to wrestle his way over, but Jared Tua says you're going nowhere for the time being. A trio of big men set to the left. Jamal Hunt with an early double. Referee points to the spot Jamal Hunt with his second try. The Seagulls with their second try, and soon to be a 12-4 lead.
So as we just wait now for the Crown Lift Trucks action replay, we saw one of these last week. And just beautiful to watch with a big man on the fly. Hit this with a lot of momentum and power pirouette, and he went. 4 points. The defenders doing everything they could to stop the man. He kicked right in front of the sticks here.
So 10-4, kick to come, and TJ, interesting to see the, I guess, tactic that time from Spencer Taplin, sort of grouping those big men up where you can only watch so many of them at one time, and Jamal Hunt takes full advantage.
Yeah, that's a smart play, especially around the post there as well when you're that close to the try line. And it's a set piece that Papakura have obviously played to throughout the season. And look, when you've got a strength of those forwards, why wouldn't you go there consistently? So I just saw Luke Armiger come off as well, and Phoenix Hunt come on. And look, I know Phoenix strength within his game is his running game. So look to see how he brings his forwards onto the ball this time.
So 12-4, it's the Papakura Seagulls who lead, 14.5 to play in the first half, and Phoenix Hunt, last year's SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Player of the Year, is onto the field. He's had an injury-disrupted season and missed last week. He'll be raring to go here, particularly when Big Brother's already on a double.
Absolutely. Whatever he can do, I want to do some myself. And one of the things, around Phoenix is the up-tempo he'll bring to the ruck speed. It's certainly going to change the dynamics of the game.
So Te Atatu get us back underway. And out on the full.
That's just a coach killer.
Goes from bad to worse very quickly, or worse to bad, whatever way you want to do it. Penalty on halfway.
And a slow stroll to it, aren't they?
I think they're debating whether to kick here or not. Whether just to tap it. Stowers will eventually kick for touch, puts it safely into touch, only able to chew off 11 with that kick being taken from the middle of the field. They'll get back going now. Tassesi down the left. Takes 3 to bring him down. They're going to quick play the ball here. Look out. Here's Phoenix. Jumps out. Goes to Hemi Douglas, and now Douglas gets roaring down the field. They're 5 short now as Phoenix Hunt rushes to dummy half. Plays in Jamal Hunt, who goes to Stowers. Stowers backdoor again. This is Makati Beatty. Goose step and looking to power his way over the line. Coast to coast stuff once again. They play short this time, and burrowing low is Taylor Polder. Hunt swings play right out the back. Stowers goes to Radic, and then Radic to Tassesi, and Tassesi steps back in field, but blue jerseys come across and cover. And once again, it's David Dyer, who's made a couple of good reads on that edge already. BT goes to Radic. Radic is going to go himself. Drew Radic! Nicely done off the back of some power plays through the middle of the park, and Drew Radic just finds a little half gap he needs, runs the ball bravely through, and the Papakura Seagulls over for their third try, 12 minutes to play here in the first half.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay as we're seeing it on the in-goal camera here. And really this is at the end where all the damage was done. And Drew Radic just managed to put his beak through. 4 points. And just having a look at the body language of the Roosters around him. $16 to 11 minutes in this half to go. And as we're waiting for the kick to come, Roosters are in conference down there. And TJ, what do you think the trainer would be saying to them right now?
Yeah, they definitely got to regroup quickly here. That was a big 5-minute period for the Te Atatu Roosters, and falling behind by 2 tries. Now, look, it's still not panic signs. There's still plenty of time left to go in the game. So, key part here is try not to solve problems by yourself, and let's try and defend this together as a team. Would probably be our next one. But look, man, that kick out on the full proved costly, and as I see, a great kick there by Drew Radic. But yeah, look, they got to kick deep here and defend their line a little bit more.
Yeah, the little things in grand finals which make massive impact. And, coming back from the restart, and don't want to give them the kiss of death here. You know, you just got to get your kickoffs right. And, you know, from the last kickoff to find themselves under immense pressure down there. We talked about the luxury of choice that they have on the big boys in the forward packs, you know, rolling down the park. And then, you know, to make things worse, they bring out Phoenix Hunt. I mean, it's going to be a big, tough day in the office. So here comes the line spin of the Roosters now as they try to defend hard.
Hemi Douglas working the ball forward from 5 sets since Te Atatu have touched the ball, so no wonder they're looking tired. Radic will kick early, and this is a chance at a 40-20 here, but it will stroll out about 5 metres short of that. And we'll have a scrum pack down Te Atatu's feed.
Corey, if you remember back to last week with Papakura, man, they were in a really handy position again like they were right now, but they started throwing a few silly passes and the error rate started creeping in. So at the moment they're completing quite high, man. They've completed 11 out of 14 sets so far. So obviously that's putting them in good stead to win this contest. But again, if they fall behind and tempt their hand a little bit, that might prove costly for them as well.
I think that has been somewhat of a theme for them this year as well. Concentration lapses, I guess you'd call them, moments of complacency. So we'll see if the Sea Eagles have addressed that. But right now they're sitting pretty on this 18-4 lead with less than 9 to play now in the first half here at Mount Smart number 2. This is the 10, Semesi Lopetti. He's taken down on halfway, and fresh legs on the park in the shape of Maipi, the man from the Waikato.
Bit of an appeal there.
Yep, and appeal granted. Jared Tua says someone was taken out on back play, I think. Shoulder charge in there. So Hakaraya now to kick for touch.
Not a bad kick.
Jordan Tua to Johnson, who gets whacked. 15 out from the line now. Tua to Inu. Inu turns back onto the inside. A lot of blonde haircuts we've seen today on Grand Final Day. Is that some sort of tradition? I'm not sure. Never seen so many blonde rugby league players in my life. Tua goes back door to Hakaraya. Hakaraya with the show, and then thought about popping through. Hemi Douglas says, no, you do not. 5 out from the line now. Maipi is the dummy half with big men set either side. He'll go to Tua, who goes to his fullback. Had David Dyer looming on his shoulder. Nicely read by Drew Radic. That time he gets some help from a couple of friends.
Oh, yeah, no, he pinged it. A little bit of frustration creeping in now. So blonde hair action, I'm picking as a Te Atatu thing coming to the grand finals, because it's been most of the Roosters boys that have been rocking out the blonde hair. And that's Corey nodding in my agreement.
I'm pretty sure we played them in the 2016 grand final qualifier. And
which club were you at?
I was at Alice Needs.
Oh, right. Just checking.
I won't let you know the result, but I'm pretty sure they rock bright red haircuts and hairdos in that one as well, man. So it could be a Te Atatu Rooster thing.
Here we go. Hairstyle chat to go with your rugby league today. How good. Sea Eagles working the ball out. 6.5 to play in the first half. It's Hunt to Hunt. Jamal with a quick play of the ball, and Phoenix with a little dart. But lost the shirt by the end of it as well, Phoenix. Tackle of Goulding goes Radic to Stowers, and Stowers showing and crabbing across field. He's taken down right on halfway. Edwards will bring play back towards the middle of the park. Makaiti BT unleashes a dagger into the sky. Beautifully taken though at the back by Morris Tualofa. Setafano leading the charge as well to contain the youngster, as TJ touched on before, the Region of Origin graduate. Jordan Tua jumping out of dummy half, stealing a few metres and then power spinning through the would-be tackle of George Edwards before Setafano comes and finishes things off and in fact overworks it. So a big penalty here for the Roosters, and they need to make this count right now, Te Atatu. Guilty probably of wasting their good ball opportunities for the most part so far, and they need to build some pressure now as Hakaraya prepares to kick for touch.
I tend to agree with you, Corey. This is, a really important set for them as they're charging into the 20.
Johnson jumps into dummy half. He'll bring on Braden Winks. Had a good year, Winks. Maipi misses out Tua. Maipi thought he might have opened up a little gap there with his dummy, but made best part of 10 metres by the end of it anyway. Tua goes down the left edge. Inu holds it up. Look to sell them on a dummy. Not this time. And a spilled ball. Dear, oh dear.
So you've touched on it. We've all touched on it a number of times. They get down here. They're just trying to build a wee bit of pressure. I don't know what we're into on the count there. 3? 2 or 3?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
And squandered. I just can't help think at some point Tua's going to move from ball distributor to actual power running. He may change the game a wee bit, and I think they need some, bending of the line.
Yeah, a bit of go forward there from the Te Atatu Roosters. But, yeah, look, that's the story at the moment. They're only completing at 60% at the moment, Te Atatu.
Yeah.
So, Papakura's given them some opportunities because their discipline's probably not the best in this first half. But still, when you get opportunities like that, you've got to capitalise on those. So, Jared's a fairly decent player himself, so I'm pretty sure he'll take the bull by the horns here and lead his team to the finish line.
So Edwards now working out from deep inside their own territory. Goes to Stowers, and Stowers dummied to Setafano on his outside and then bravely took it himself. Johnson, the man to wrestle him to ground. Back through the middle they come via Jamal Hunt, who's had a wow of a game so far. 2 tries, a whole lot of metres, and working nicely in conjunction with little brother Phoenix. And on cue, Phoenix jumps out and steals a few metres and takes them into opposition territory. 14 points is the difference right now. Stowers kicks up over the top. It's unconventional looking. Cortez Taulu takes it beautifully. Jordan Tua now working it out. Cheney Puata. David Dyer's come from the other side of the field looking for a carry. It's one of those funny situations where Te Atatu's best work right now is actually out of yardage. That's where they're showing their real quality as Cheney Puata bumps the ball forward, and Maipi goes to Johnson. Johnson gets hit high. He was falling into the contact. Let's hope he's okay after that. He's not going to get much sympathy from Hemi Douglas. Hakaraya chips over the top. This is anyone's ball. Cheney Puata for a second had it behind the back. What's the result here? Papakura penalty, I think. Yes, it is. So 2 and a bit to play. The Seagulls will kick for touch here and should finish the half with ball in hand.
Is that found touch? Yes. Seagulls up to the halfway. 2 minutes to go.
Jamal Hunt.
He's proven a handful, hasn't he?
Phoenix to Radic. Hemi Douglas. I like Hemi Douglas's style as well. Rugged old school prop. A little bit of Clayton Williams in him and the way he carries. Different players on the whole. But old school type forwards. Here's Willie Stowers shaking out a 1. And then getting wrestled to ground by Maipi. Points here would be huge for Papakura. Radic dances his way to the line, but there's no dancing through Jared Tua, who then drives him into the ground, 10 short of the line. Phoenix Hunt with options either side. We'll head back towards the right edge, and a short ball to Pitta. Junior Pitta burrows low for another one. The roll just doesn't stop with this team. The Papakura Seagulls. Another big man they send at him, and this time it's Junior Pitta. Just gets down low. And then from there, momentum carries him over. Try under the post, which stretches the lead just before halftime.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here, and we can see after immense work done as they've rolled down the park. Nice little pass back inside, which had that Papakura Seagull attacker just perched there, ready to pick it up. And look how happy he is. 4 points, slammed that ball into the ground. And as Corey said, you know, that's a pretty important play just with 20 seconds to go before the halftime break. 22 points, Papakura, 4 to Atatu with kick to come. And just can't help it, the spread's getting fairly wide here, TJ. Halftime break as the coach. You would have been in this position before?
Yeah, it's definitely not the position you want to be in at halftime in a grand final. But look, you know, Papakura, you know, credit to them. They had Makai Beatty on the ball there, and having him at fullback is a bit of a luxury, having an extra half in your team. So, you know, Te Atatu are just struggling to maintain the big forwards of Papakura at the moment, and if they do want to win this contest, they got to find something inside them at half-time and try and come away with the win.
So for the coach, Te Atatu, and you know they've both got a really good culture there with the two coaches that they have. What's going to be their brief? What's going to be their chat?
They probably got to keep things a little bit positive in there and just say to them, look, there's 40 minutes left of their season, and it is what they're going to make of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, Te Atatu have come here, they're here for a reason. They've played really good football this year, so they've got to just get back to doing what's been good for them throughout the season, and then hopefully it turns into points. But, you know, look, they're still in the hunt. I know the points tell a different story, but, you know, it's a grand final, anything can happen.
All right, thank you, TJ. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we go to break now and the teams are in the huddle, we're at the halftime of the 2019 Grand Final for Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. Man, that's a mouthful. We're going to leave you with these images. Don't go too far away. Get yourself a green tea. Be right back.
welcome back in. Going to get back underway here, and it is the Te Atatu Roosters with all the work to do, facing a 20-point deficit with 40 minutes to play. Remembering, under this new system, both of these teams are getting promoted to the Fox qualifiers for 2020 anyway, but a title on the line in this one. And right now, odds are it's heading to Prince Edward Park with the Papakura Seagulls after a dominant first half. Corey Rosser joined in commentary by Troy Hardy and TJ Ashford today. Trust you're enjoying the call, and maybe you've been listening into all 3 games today. You've made a day of it. And a brilliant day for footy here at Mount Smart number 2. 40 to go. And the Roosters on the football here. Goes Maipi in infield to Lincoln Hakaraya. Lincoln fighting and looking to stay to his feet. And now they're 40 metres out from the line, Te Atatu, and they need a fast start. There's no doubt about that. It goes Maipi and then a dink over the top from Inu. Neil Levu is chasing back, as is Cortez Taulu, and putting all sorts of pressure on him then was Cortez, and I think that's taken a touch from Neil Levu. So this will be a Te Atatu ball, and that's really good work that time from Cortez Taulu, Troy. Those are the little plays that really, if you're sort of struggling, you can tend to go away from, but big play from Cortez forces an error from Neil Levu.
Absolutely, and those, we talked about that at the in the first half. It's doing the little things right, and they count, especially in big games. And, it certainly has the opportunity now to get a wee bit of momentum swing.
So scrum to pack down, Inu with the feed. Now, did that scrum break before the ball was out? Looked to me like it did anyway. Hakaraya to Cheney Puata to Dyer, down this deadly right edge, Dyer, but the ball comes loose. He's into touch anyway, so they shot their shot early that time, the Te Atatu Roosters, and not to be that time as they get bundled into touch. Neil Levu with the first carry. Te Atatu, of course, dominated their qualifiers and then won the minor premiership and the Fox Championship as well. Secured direct entry to the grand final with a 23-22 win over Papakura in the qualifying semi back in week 1 of the finals. The game went to extra time. Phoenix Hunt. Radic drives the kick down towards the direction of Cheney Puata, who looks up and sees nothing but red. He's contained just short of the 30. This is Morris Taualofa, who's had a good game so far. Scored Te Atatu's only try. He's worked hard. Certainly an impressive build. A bit of height to him and still got a bit of growing to go, I dare say, as we see big contact in the middle. And that was on Lincoln Hakaraya. Goes Johnson and then into the middle. This is Winks. Fighting for a quick play of the ball, Braden. Maipi to Inu. Inu will go high off the boot. Nakaidi Beatty under it, takes it cool as anything. Good chase from Te Atatu though, and they'll trap him 9 metres off his own line. So better signs for the Roosters in the second half. TJ Ashford certainly looks like they're playing with a little bit more enthusiasm, particularly on those kick chases.
Yeah, it's definitely a better start from the Roosters in the second half. So they just have to continue to try and build pressure the same way that they're doing right now. And playing out their sets, they're getting a good set of metres on their carries and pinning Papakura inside their own 10 metres. So they've got to continue doing that to get themselves back into this game.
George Edwards marches the ball forward, back with Papakura after a stint with Howick. Part of a large contingent that went over from Papakura to the Howick Hornets, and goes without saying well done to the Howick Hornets on last night's First Division Grand Final victory, their second Fox title. Makati BT kicks long. There's 3 Roosters back there.
Yeah.
Taulu driven back. Sorry to interrupt you there, Troy.
Just about to say the same thing, and TJ next to me said they were looking a little bunched, and I think, well, to be fair, probably 3-4 Roosters were still walking back to get on side as they started rucking the ball out. So, and here we go. Gerard decides now to take the line on, and he's a dangerous man when he does so. And he's managed to milk that penalty.
Good work there from Jared Tua. Captain's knock earns the penalty. And there'll be no debate around what to do here for the Roosters. They need to go full throttle right now. They need to take advantage of most of their opportunities in the second half if they are to be a chance of coming back into it. It starts here as Johnson carts the ball forward. Jordan Tua to Inu. Winks has taken the ground. They're 11 out from the line now, Atatu. Maipi jumps out, comes back into the middle. This is Hakaraya driving the legs is Lincoln. Not far from the line now. It goes Maipi. Hakaraya, that's Boston. This is David Dyer looking to go up over the top. Radic did a good job down low. Favouring that right edge as they have done all year. And why not?
Still popped it out the back. Play on.
Hakaraya now on the ball. Goes back door. A chance maybe down this side. Taulu. Oh, he was praying on the bounce. Cortez pops up nicely for Neolevu. And the Seagulls hold on. But I'll repeat it again. These are positive signs from Atatu. A different looking team to that which took the field in the first half. They're playing with increased enthusiasm here. And at the very least, they're going to give themselves a chance here as Radic spreads the ball long. Here's Andre Singh off the bench. Quick play the ball from Andre as well. And they'll head down the left-hand side via to Sessi. Andre, a New Zealand Defence Force representative. Another carry from Andre Singh. Plays that utility role for them off the bench. He wears the number 1 jersey, but will play anywhere and everywhere required by Coach Spencer Taplin. 5 short of halfway now with the Seagulls. Hunt to Stowers. Stowers kicks long down to the direction of Cheney Puata, who claims it on the full. And will have to bring this one back himself with no winger around and is taking the ground 18 off his line.
Yeah, just about to say the same thing, TJ. And just off screen, we can see some of the Roosters still getting back to being on side as the work rate now needs to be lifted with a great run here up to the 40.
Jordan Tua, he's worked really hard today as Cortez jumps out of dummy half now. He's taken the ground on halfway. Taulu, quick play the ball though, and Inu there to collect. 40 out from the line, last play coming up. I'd be surprised to see a bomb here. They'll try and force an error, and there it is, unleashed off the boot of Hakaraya. BT under it with no one around, takes it beautifully, does Makaidi, looks up and then beats through the first line, and look out, now Makaidi's charging. Makes it out to the 30. Fascinating game building here, despite the 20-point margin. Jamal Hunt, 2 tries already.
Look how strong he is.
Just get the feeling we're in a bit of an arm wrestle here too,
Yep.
Corey, man. So just waiting to see who's going to crack first.
Phoenix Hunt doing his best to perhaps inflict that blow which could crack this game open and really give Papakura a commanding lead heading into the run home. Of course, 20 points. It's already a fairly handsome advantage as Neolevu picks up, and some broken play here. They're dangerous from it, Papakura, and Neolevu is taking the ground 11 out. Stowers switches it up, goes a different direction, hands to Radic, and Radic on the short line. Brilliant defence from Atatu.
He bobbled that.
There's a mistake in there, but I tell you what, when Zion Tasesi gets a flat ball at that pace, good luck. Te Atatu did really well to reel them in that time and prevent the try from being scored. Scrum will pack down. This will be a Te Atatu feed. But they're looking tired. They're looking like they've had to try and control Papakura for 50-odd minutes right now.
Must have been top of the count handover.
So apologies, there wasn't an error in there. Handover was the call. Briggs. Inu. Looks down the left, it's picked off, and Willie Stowers is off to the races, one to beat. Rounds Cheney Poata, and Willie Stowers will score for the Seagulls. Slams it down in dramatic fashion. What a play from Willie down that right edge. Read it like a book. And another try for the Papakura Seagulls. Well in control now, 28-4 with a kick to come.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here. He's perched nicely. He picked it early. And just off this slow motion here as we come into frame. Well, at that point, this boy's got speed to burn. Saw the cover defender coming, just stepped him inside. Yeah, look, and he's saying, Whakatane, bang, 4 points. TJ, you're about to say something.
Yeah, sorry, man. I was celebrating off camera there. Yeah, that one means a fair bit to me. I grew up with the Stowers family and Willie and his older brother Thomas, so that was good to see Willie get across the stripe there. So big shout out to the Stowers whānau that's here. I know Gus, his dad Gus, is out there in the stands watching today. So
is that what you've done to get a free beer today?
No. Like I said, grew up with a family. I've known them since I was a young kid. So it's always good to see one of your mates get across the stripe.
And you could see what that one meant to him. It's been a frustrating couple of years, I think, for Willie Stowers, really. He's been in a team that's been underperforming. He's been moved around a lot. He's played centre, fullback, and the halves. But a title coming his way, I'm sure, will ease some of that frustration. And well done to Willie. He brought up 100 games the other day for the club as well. He's been a wonderful servant as Radic converts, and the Seagulls lead 30 points to 4. What a commanding performance from them so far, and it's not over yet. Still 27 minutes to play here at Mount Smart number 2.
Yeah, Willie Stowers, he's a funny man as well, and a really nice bloke, despite what Savannah says about him. And you can pick some of his humour up on his Twitter Insta book. Well, Roosters back to a reset here.
So high one off the boot to get us back underway. Almost miscommunication between Edwards and Stowers, but danger averted as George brings it in. And just looking at this Te Atatu team, look, I'm not sure what they can really do at this point. They're being overpowered by this colossal force in the middle that is the Papakura Seagulls. They're not actually doing too much wrong, Te Atatu. They're certainly fighting hard and trying to remain in the game, but no answer for what Papakura have got right now. Up out of the line that time, trying to put a shot on was Golding, but Pitta shook it off. Now Armiger jumps out, steals a couple before he gets ragdolled to ground 5 short of halfway. Jamal Hunt. Hunt straight through. Jamal Hunt now, he's got Willie Stowers on his left. Is it going to be a double for Willie? Comes in, but the cover comes across for Te Atatu just in time. Jamal Hunt is having some kind of game. Armiger to Radic. Looping ball up over the top. Smithson now dancing, looking for a gap. Christopher Smithson, contained by David Dyer. Well, where's the ball gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
So, ball put down. Hand over again, but Jamal Hunt straight through the middle that time. It looked likely, and really it was great cover defence that denied Willie Stowers a double.
Well, I'm a big fan of Jamal, and it's certainly been a big day for him here at the grand final. You know, a couple of tries, some big breaks. Fantastic game of football for that young man.
And that is Papakura's 4th error for the game, so they've been very tidy, really, across the time that we've had so far. And as a result, they've dominated possession. Jordan Tour. Dyer, they come back towards the middle of the ruck, and that's a good carry from Donovan Briggs. Tried hard today, his Briggs. About the only Te Atatu forward who could foot it on the KG front with most of these Papakura guys, and he's fought valiantly as Tua gets whacked and then gets an offload away. Comes back to the middle, and then Maipi gets set upon by 3 men in maroon, and yeah, he's felt that one, Maipi. Inu. It's a kick up over the top. Taulu bearing down. BT will be patient. BT will have to play it in, and then Makaiti with a little one-on-one battle with Cortez and does nicely. Good work from Makaiti, BT. Andre Singh. Te Atatu will drive him back.
I needed to.
So dropout coming, and poor old Andre Singh, he's probably not the ideal man to be cutting the ball out of that situation. He was always going to be vulnerable to getting forced back that time, and the Roosters do nicely to force a dropout. And TJ, to go back to what I said before, there's no lack of effort from this Te Atatu team. Despite the challenge they're facing, they're actually not doing too much wrong today.
No, they're not, man, and we've played them a couple of times today, and they're a side that definitely won't be going away, even though they're behind by a few points. Look, I think if they score a try here in this set, there's still 25 minutes to go, man. So they've put, I think it was 20-odd points on Papakura a couple of weeks ago. So they've got the skill set there, they've got the players there. They just need to probably spend a little bit more time down here and capitalise on their opportunities.
So it all starts here as BT gets us back underway with a dropout, which will go 30 on the fly, and then winding up off the back fence is Braden Winks. Big set here for the Roosters. They need a result. They need something to build some momentum on. Here's Jared Tua. Miski, former Canterbury Bulls player. Ball comes out. Now what's the call here? Play on it's going to be. That'll be a knock on from Miski. And a 0 tackle start for the Papakura Sea Eagles. Well, you can't fault them for chancing their arm that time. Levu lining up for a carry. Watch out. Getting good contact that time, led by Lopetti. Radic. Sessi lives out on that left edge. Radic to Jamal Hunt. A line break, 2 tries. Close to 100 metres to his name already. Pitta centralises. Armiger. BT kicks over the top. Stowers chasing and just put it down, Willie Stowers.
Knew it was coming.
Well, in another world, Willie Stowers could have a hat-trick at this point. Puts that one down, shows a little bit of the frustration there.
I don't know, Corey, man. Obviously it's exciting footy, but when you're 30 points to 4 up, do you really need to be playing that kind of footy? I probably would have tried to turn them around and put them inside their 20 there for Te Atatu, but we'll see if it's going to come back and bite them there, that decision to go short.
You're a dead set Grinch, TJ Ashford. It's the grand final and you're up by 26 points. Have some fun.
Stay positive.
Please. Roosters marching the ball forward. This is Nathaniel Pito. Miski to Hakaraya. Hakaraya finds Johnson, who runs strong and finds an offload. There's no one there. Briggs has to pick it up and then goes to Cheney Puata, who steps his way back through and then offload to Inu.
Just keep pushing the pass.
Miski jumps out. Miski! Isaac Miski shaking free. Isaac Miski. Support looming now from Tauli. The ball pops up. I think Cortez has scored on the left here.
What a try. If this is awarded,
Told you,
there
Corey,
it is.
Bit of a Grinch there, mate, but that decision to go short's come back to bite them there.
Yes, indeed, as I'm served a spoonful of humble pie. Cortez Taulu scores in the left-hand corner. There's a fair bit going on here, Troy, but really just a real effort play from Isaac Miski, and Cortez finishes it nicely.
Wow, Miski made this happen. Believe in magic, and he certainly did. He slipped that, and look at the pass. He threw that with everything he had, and enough momentum there. Slide that in, and look at that. Yep. They'll be crying on the Rooster House around that try. So they're back in the hunt for at least 4 points of it. With a massive kick here out onto the 30. He certainly waltzed back a fair old distance here. And he's right out on the edge. Here we go. Live stream shot picking it up for us. Now, there's a big chat going on in there, and you can see that trainer. His head's pecking up and down like a rooster's head. He's telling them they got 20 minutes.
Kick no good. It remains 30 points to 8, and clear to see the Mount Albert connection in that try. Both Isaac Miskey and Cortez Taulu, former Mount Albert men, and of course Cortez and Elsie Eagles Jr.
19 to
Who
go.
knew? Well, is that the shape of things to come?
Well, I think one thing it does do is just gives them something to work towards now, doesn't it? They know they can do it. And as much as I made fun of TJ before, it's a fair point he made. You know, chip kicking over the top in that situation there, that's maybe a play that you save for down the other end of the park. And it has now, hasn't put them under pressure, but has just given Te Atatu a little foot in the door where previously it wasn't.
Yeah, a little bit of a sniff there. So those are probably the plays that I'd expect Te Atatu to be throwing with 20 minutes to go and season on the line. But with Papakura, and especially the experience of the boys that they've got in their spine, the decision to go short, I probably would have gone a little bit longer there and completed that set.
No, I tend to disagree with both of you. Wooly Stowers, I'd back him. You know, chip over the top, man. If that had come off, you guys would have been just marvelled at what a wonderful try it would have been.
Very true, very true.
You two continue your lovers tiff off here. We'll get back to the action.
I'm great friends. I grew up with them, and you know, Wooly, shot me another beer.
So we're going back here. We got time off. Not too sure what's happened. Maybe going to play the ball off the mark originally. So we'll just wait and see. Doesn't appear to be an injury on the ground at all.
So it's the restart.
Well, the ball was 30 metres away by the end of it all.
And sometimes with these little breaks in play, you know, it sort of upsets the rhythm. One who comes off harder. Listen, no man harder than this guy on the field. He's had a wonderful season for the Te Atatu Roosters. Good tour.
Miski to Hakaraya. Hakaraya kicks. That's taken a deflection. Now, no knock on. Play on the call, and Armiger picks it up and says, I'll go down the other end. So pressure back on Te Atatu now. Those little moments. Here's Setafano. Tackled well by Johnson, although he was offside, which no doubt would have helped. And Willie Stowers says we will go to the post. We'll kick the 2 here.
That's probably a better decision there, Corey. Takes them to 4 converted tries in front with 17 minutes to go. So, they've taken a tap. They've opted against it.
Okay, well, the old fake from Willie Stowers, who let the whole world know he was taking the 2 there. That somehow
I'm not taking a kick at goal.
Setafano winding up. Oh, Seal Setafano. Bumping the ball forward. Te Atatu somehow repel him. They're set deep on the right. Willie Stowers at first receiver. Makati Beatty's there as well. Instead, they'll go low to the left. And Junior Pitter burrows. But I think we've got a forward pass in the lead up. Shepherd the call. Thank you to my stats man for picking that one up. So the Roosters let off the hook now. And Hakaraya chews off some fair yardage on that one. That's a good kick.
Yeah, that's a great kick.
They want to get things moving here because Papakura is still trying to get their line set. Miski does just that. And we go again. 16 and a half to play. Enough time if they're good enough. Isaac Miski's really come to life in the second half. Previously played for the Otago Whalers and New Zealand Universities.
Great little run. Certainly put him under guessing pressure.
Miski takes them to within 15. Tua. Think on his feet that time, and now they're 9 short of the line. Last play coming up for Te Atatu. Need a result here. Maipi jumps out, and, well, that was not the play.
Yeah. I've just said yes to the two commentary guys sitting next to me as they're shaking their heads, just showing a little bit of frustration as we wait for the Seagulls to play the ball here.
And TJ, probably fair to say in that situation there, you really want your chief playmakers stepping up and organising a little better that time, because that was really just a dour play to end the
Yeah, it
settle.
was, mate, and especially in good ball inside the 20 there, you definitely want your halves to be touching the ball more times than not. And you saw Jared Tua on the ball a few times there, and I definitely think, like Zenze's been around the traps a fair bit and got some experience, so he probably needs to take a little bit of control as well, especially to try and score a few points to get back into the game.
So penalty here to the Seagulls, and there was a bit of chat involved afterwards as well as Makari Beattie weighs up what to do. He's going to kick for touch, and we'll put that one safely into touch about 8 metres from where the mark was. And George Edwards gets us back underway. 14 and a bit to play here in the grand final. It's the Seagulls who lead 30-8. Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship decider. The new second division, if you will, as Jamal Hunt marches the ball forward. What a game he's had. I don't think there's a man of the match given out today. Maybe we'll do a little commentary box vote. Zone to Sessi, gets crunched by Jared Tua. And this is going to go against Atatu here. Well,
Can't.
so knock on each way, and I was a little confused at first as to what had happened there, but he's got a knock on each way. First one coming off Papakura, so this will be a Te Atatu feed. Te Atatu wanted to play on. They thought Jared Tua might go length of the field there, just quietly. I'm not sure Jared was going to anyway, but hey. Cheney Puata jumps off the back of the scrum. Runs it at the direction of Edwards and Neil Levu.
Strong wrestle there to get him to ground. They're all at 6s and 7s though, Roosters, at that play.
And again, we go back to the men organising things right now. And I know they're all tired. It's been a heck of a game for the Roosters, but they're going to have to find something in this final 13 and a half minutes. Miski right now is the man supplying all the spark. Here's Hakaraya going to the line.
A little bit of shake now on the left.
Back to the middle they come. Miski directing traffic, goes to Briggs, who heads back out to the edge looking for a smaller body to run at. There's not many of them in this team, Donovan. Taking the ground 25 out from the line. Hakaraya. Inu shakes out of the first one, takes him to within 5, but that's a handover ball once again. Looked likely for a second there as he broke the initial line, but once again, just probably not the ideal play come last tackle, and hand over the ball 5 metres off their line.
Yeah, that was a much better set from Te Atatu there. Corey, you saw there both Boston and Zenze getting their hands on the ball and taking the line on. I definitely think they need more of that to try and get back into this contest and win the grand final. So we'll see if they can continue getting their hands on the ball in the last 12 minutes.
So Pitta marches the ball off his line. And now Makari Beattie with the dramatic step, and then taken down under the weight of Tua. Phoenix Hunt inquiring about the penalty, and then plays in Hemi Douglas, and Hemi Douglas meets Hakaraya head on. Quick play of the ball for Hemi as well. Phoenix shuffles the ball to Makari Beattie. Kicks down towards the wing, and it is cleaned up by David Dyer. Dyer just about lost control of the ball there, did well to hold on in the end. Belted by Phoenix Hunt. Cheney Puata.
The Roosters getting back in and on side, and as they do so, Thomas Dowes texts in and says to Corey that TJ is a Grinch. So a big shout out to Thomas. Oh! Both ways, play on. Double fend again, just keep running straight ahead.
And that might just do it. That might just kill off any hope for Te Atatu. Serafano recovers the ball. They'll work it up through the middle now, and here's Makari Beattie, who has worked hard out of yardage for the last 5 minutes or so. I think he knows his big men are feeling it. coming in for a little bit of work. Neil Levu to Edwards.
I was going to say, here comes the gear change. Yeah.
Earns the
Penalty's
penalty
done. Absolutely.
as well in front of the sticks, and you would think they'd be tempted here just to chew off 2 minutes or so and take the shot, although they may want
They're going to tap and run, mate.
keep playing some footy here. What does the Grinch think?
Oh, I think they should take the 2, mate. I mentioned this before, and they didn't do it.
You're
and
banned from the Stowers house.
They ended up
You're
giving
banned.
away a penalty. And look, we mentioned earlier in the game that Te Atatu's right side is their go-to, and I've just noticed there they've made a couple changes. So David Dyer's now playing on the wing, which he's normally in the centres, and probably not seeing as much ball as what he's used to. I saw the young fella Shane getting strapped up at half-time with a right shoulder injury, so he's obviously succumbed to that, and obviously with those positional changes, that right side hasn't seen the quality ball that they're used to, I suppose.
And it's well picked up there by TJ. We can see Morris Tualofa is on the sideline with heavy strapping on the right shoulder, so it looks like his day is done as Radic steps in, last year's First Division top point scorer, adds another 2 for the Papakura Sea Eagles as they march towards the title. And a title which will end a fairly long drought for this club. Outside of the First Division title in 2016, they haven't been down here for a little while.
I just want to have a big shout out to the Te Atatu club and their crew. It's been a fantastic year for them, and it certainly shapes them up really well for 2020 as they come into the SAS Fox qualifying for next year. And they must be proud of their efforts as we get ready for a restart with 8 minutes 50 left in this grand final.
And it would be remiss of us not to note that they're missing Anthony Goulton today, who I would think would be pretty close to the top try scorer in Auckland in any competition this year. He's simply been on fire, Anthony Goulton. So you add him back into the mix, and what I'm seeing here today would give me plenty of reason for optimism ahead of entering the qualifiers next year. Maybe need to add a little bit more size, but that would be about it. Certainly their halves have got plenty of talent, and the backline as well.
And hats off to Keith and Phil down there, do a fantastic job at the club. And I know Brian O'Shea has spoken highly of them during the course of this season as we've managed to live stream the Roosters.
Jamal Hunt, straight through again, second line break, Radic on his shoulder, he doesn't want a bar of him.
There
Whips
it is.
it out the back, finds Neo Levu, and Neo Levu will score in the far right corner. Jamal Hunt. A game for the ages from Jamal.
Yeah,
Another line break through the middle, finds Neo Levu looming in support, although I don't think Drew Radic will be too happy with him.
So as we catch up with the Crown Lift action replay here, and it is all action. All action. Look at it. Backing up. Oh. And then managed to flip a big pass out to the right-hand edge there. We sort of touched earlier about who the player is for today's grand final. And for me personally, boys, I can't go past Jamal Hunt. He's just been in it full noise, and big man on the run. Great footwork, great strength, and, cranking 2 off in the first half. He's, had a big grand final.
Yep, that makes 3 of us all in agreement there. And look, not just the spectacular stuff he's done today, but when the tough carries have been required, he's had them as well, and he's worked nicely with Phoenix as well. So Neo Levu scores that one in the far right corner, and I think Jamal just wanted to show that he was capable of throwing the cutout pass at the end of it all as well. You can see the smile on the big man's face there. As the Sea Eagles go into the huddle and Radic prepares to convert, and there'll be about 6 to play in the half and in the game by the time we get back underway. But TJ, what a dominant showing from this side, and really you would think there's some First Division clubs watching thinking, hey, these guys are going to be a force come next year's qualifiers.
Yeah, well, we work at Auckland Rugby League, and the talk around the sorry, myself and Corey, Troy excluded, but we spoke about the list and the lineup that Papakura had at the start of the season, and definitely didn't think that they'd be down here in the Fox Championship. But look, they've I suppose to kickstart their club again, this is probably the best thing for them, coming down here and getting a bit of confidence and taking away a bit of confidence from their performances in this Fox Championship. But I also got to agree with Troy on Te Atatu season, man. They went through the first 13 rounds with only one loss, and I think this might be their second loss in the championship. So, man, to lose only 3 games in a whole season, Keith and Phil and the club can hold their head up high because they've done an outstanding job.
Yeah, very well said.
And Brian O'Shea, that'll be 3 rounds of drugs for everybody. Oh, they're pointing, looking to drive it forward. The Seagulls aren't finished yet. Massive shoulder in there, and he's still going. Look at the footwork.
Seo Setafano. And I have heard whispers, this could well be Seo's last game, so perhaps he has realised that as the clock ticks down for the last 5 minutes or so, and now wants to get as many carries in as possible. He's going to have to share them with this man, Jamal Hunt. Zion Tasesi.
No shortage of big out there, is there?
A bit of an unsung hero, probably. Overshadowed by some of his teammates, but he's been very, very good as well. Radic, a looping ball over the top. Smithson down the left-hand side. Smithson, but they knocked the ball free. Great scramble from Te Atatu, and that will be pleasing to see with 4.5 minutes to play in the game. Well and truly over. They scramble there to force the error after it looked like Smithson might well burst through.
As we see the Crown Lift Trucks logo there on the referee's chest plate, big thank you to them, the major sponsors of the Fox Championship in 2019. And without your support, a lot of what we do here, especially in the live streaming and of course in the competition, would not be possible. Crown Lift Trucks.
The Roosters to pack a scrum down now. Inside the final 4, it's David Dyer who retrieves and then goes to Cheney Puata, who sent one on his way. It's Taylor Polder who fell over. A feeling there's a bit of smiling going on out there, but there may be some personal battles that have been brewing in this game. There is no shortage of talk going on out there. So Miski now. Just a Tua. Tua set upon by 2, including Taylor Polder. Miski, a little mistake in the play of the ball that time. And another handover. Papakura rally to high five and shake hands. And TJ, I guess with less than 3 minutes to play right now, you start thinking also about how many of these guys won't be here next year, whether they're going to retire or move to other clubs or move country. And really, I guess it's all just about enjoying these last couple of moments.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Seo Setafano earlier, and I don't know, it was his last game today. And I actually, my first memory with him was he was actually walking around a training field a few years back when he was 18 years old, and we had our Auckland representative team training there, and he showed up as a prop, and he killed it in fitness testing, mate. And
wow.
That was the first time I saw Seo, and it's unfortunate he's had a couple serious knee injuries that's curtailed his career, but he's been an awesome player for this Papakura side this year.
See a knock on there from Phoenix Hunt after a fairly energetic set. I should mention that's the rumour that Seal will retire. Of course, anything can happen, but you mentioned that horror run he's had with injuries, and you do wonder how much more the body's got in it.
Yeah, I'm actually sure that Seal's retired about every year for the last 4 years. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him back in the maroon and white. And he started off his career, I believe, in Manurewa for rugby league and travelled across to Papakura. But he's got a good relationship with the coaching and managing staff at Papakura. So he's obviously done them a favour and come back to help the side out this year.
So 1.5 minutes to play in the season. The title's going to Prince Edward Park. Papakura are going to win it. But the Roosters perhaps one more go at finishing the season on a little bit of a high here. Of course, similar story for them. Who knows what their squad will look like next year as Briggs puts that one down, and now the Seagulls are going to get last say here. Setafano's blowing hard in the background. Jamal Hunt's smiling. You can't wipe the smile off his face today.
Now's the time I'll be throwing the ball around, Corey.
Here we go. The Grinch finally loosens up at 38-8 with 45 seconds to go. And we'll, I think, have time off here. Well, we went to blow time off a couple of times there. The ball was hidden in the back of the scrum, and I think Isaac Miskey may have playing a little game or two there. So this might be some fun here. Let's see what
for a little trick play here, Corey.
Willie Stowers to feed, and there's a fair bit going on in the background as well. Well, they need to get it fed though, because clock is ticking. So out to the left at first to Radic. Setafano. Bumping the ball forward, shakes out of the first one, goes again, Seal still standing. The play will end there. The Papakura Sea Eagles are your 2019 Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship winners. What a grand final performance it has been from the Sea Eagles. Came into it having lost to Te Atatu in the qualifying semi-final. It was Te Atatu who were the better team through the regular season. But the Sea Eagles pick up their first lot of silverware since 2016. It was the first division title that year. It's the second division title this year, but TJ, you get the feeling it feels just as sweet right now.
Yeah, any grand final's a good grand final to win, mate. So, credit to both teams for being involved in our first ever Fox Championship grade grand final. Like I said, you can see the unity there from the Te Atatu team in off-shot at the moment, but obviously they'll know that they've had an outstanding season, and they can all hold their heads high, and I definitely think that if they can continue with the same team and build their roster a little bit more next year, then they'll definitely be a force to reckon with in that Fox Premiership.
So a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Of course, stay with us if you want to watch the post-match presentations. The Papakura Sea Eagles will be awarded the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship, the inaugural edition of the Cup. Of course, the new format for the Premiership competitions this year, and it's been, I think, a really positive change, and for the most part, I think it's been well received across the board, particularly from some of the second division clubs who had the chance to foot it with first division clubs like the Papakura Sea Eagles this year. See on screen there, Carmen Taplin, wife of Coach Spencer. She's had an important role to play this year as well. Works in the wellbeing space, previously with the Warriors and now with the New Zealand Rugby League. And one thing that they have tried to install here is a real cultural shift at Papakura. A bit of on-field success never hurts either. So a short break for us before we pick up the post-match presentations here at Mount Smart number 2.
On behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, we thank you for hanging out with us for the last game for 2019. We'll just start the presentation in a couple of minutes. Thank you. I'd like to call upon Sal to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, I guess it'd be fair to say that this is not how the Roosters wanted to end their season. And let me say this, they've had a fabulous year, and guess what, they're back in the Fox next year, so how good's that? And I think the good thing about the format that we're running now, it's so good that all is not lost. So the neat thing about it is, and also the Roosters are going to see Papakura in the Fox as well, so it's just absolutely marvellous. I'm just going to exercise my dancing skills here while I start jumping on the boxes. But honestly, put your hands together for both teams, because it was a pretty good game of footy, wasn't it? And as I say, they're both going into the Fox Memorial next year, so it doesn't get any better than that. And to all you wonderful people that have come out and supported your teams, absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
So we'd just like to do the presentation for the match officials. Could we please have the referee, Kiko Tuhipi Hibbs, touch judges, Chris McMillan and Harley Wall, and match manager, Jean Arareti. And we've got something special for the four boys who I think did an amazing job. The four boys from both teams, presentation of a ball as well as a mouth guard. Well done. Nice, hands together everyone. Thank you. Well done boys. Could I please ask the captain from our runner-up team to come forward to say a few words?
Kia ora tātou. First of all, I'd like to thank all the supporters for coming out and supporting the two teams today. Without you guys, the game will be real boring, so thank you for turning up week in and week in. To the Papakura Sea Eagles, you guys were the pinnacle of this competition, and we knew you guys were going to be tough. Big forward pack in the middle, and you showed what a full dominant 80-minute team looks like. You brothers, and we'll see you next year. Keep your head up, brothers. It was a long season, real long season, and I'm finally glad that it's to an end. And that's us, a good pre-season, and we're in the Fox, baby. So, brothers, thank you.
Could we please ask the management to come forward to receive their medals? Thank you. Everybody to come forward. Come on, guys. You deserve it. Hands together. Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Righto, applause please. Righto, here we go to the mighty Papakura Sea Eagles. Winners on a wonderful display of football today. You've just played out of your skins. It was absolutely fantastic. well done, and look forward to seeing us all going around again next year. Thank you.
Could we have the captain to come forward, please, to say a few words? Thank you.
Before I thank our fans, obviously I want to thank JT and I guess his family, not his team. So they had a really good season, and they say we were the benchmark, but to be honest, we kept a close eye on them too. They had a lot of strike. Just obviously we turned up to win, and we had no other intentions to lose. So yeah. And also our fans, our family, our club. It hasn't been an easiest season for us. We've had some really tough times, to be honest, and we've questioned ourselves, but we stuck with it, and yeah, we knew we could probably take this out. Yeah, that was one of our goals, so we're happy that we reached that, so yeah. Thank you.
Could the team and management please come forward to get your medallions? Thank you. Okay, we just got one more thing to do for the fans. So the Auckland Rugby League 2019 Fox Memorial Championship Premiers, Papakura. So while the photos are happening, on behalf of Auckland Rugby League, thank you for the 2019 season. Drive safe home, and we hope to see you in 2020. Thank you.